Hey guys, so for this video, I am actually going to be doing a book review of book Born to be Badger. It is a Shelly Laurenston book. It's part of the Badger Chronicles. So yeah, this is a fifth one. Just because I read it recently, I'll probably review all the other ones whenever, you know, my dopamine allows me. So but this one, um, of course, enjoyed this one. I enjoy every one of her books. They're just so entertaining to me. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and get started with a plot. So it's gonna be spoilers, but I figured if you're watching this, you've already read it or probably won't read it anyway. So, this one, follows, one of Max's teammates. Her name's Emily Talk. Talks her nickname, Myers and Jackson. And so we get a little bit in the beginning about when she was younger. She was always, I guess she grew up with Max, and so they were always kind of a team. So we get even as teenagers, they were killing people. And so we get the scene with Talk's parents. They're like sitting there talking about Talk, I guess. And they see their daughter and um the rest of Talk's teammates getting rid of bodies. And so we kind of get that to kind of get a little bit of the relationship between Talk and her family. Her family is more unusual in that they don't want to be more criminals. They're more like upstanding citizens, I guess. And they don't want their daughter to become I guess, like other badgers. But anyways, come to the recent times. She gets a message. And so she is going on a message. Someone sends a car and she's getting ready to leave, but then Shay Malone shows up and yeah, she takes him with them. Not that she wants him to come along, he literally just pretty much forces himself along. He's kind of like a cat who doesn't really care what you want. If they want, be with you, then they will. But yeah, they go on this mission to this I another country. I can't remember what it was, but it ends up being a trap either way, and she gets poisoned. And this poison is unusual in that it actually does paralyze her, which no other poison um is able to do. And so this is kind of a more man-made poison directly targeting badgers. And so yeah, her family ends up showing up, along with the Malone brothers, and so it's a whole circus, ultimately resulting in her shifting and slashing Shaw in the throat, or Shay, sorry, Shay in the throat, and almost bleeding him out. She's trying to escape her annoying family. So yeah, they're able to save him. I think he shifts or something to kind of to repair the damage and all that. But yeah, they end up back at Malone's house, of course, after all of this has gone down. And then we get kind of just more interactions between all the different characters, a lot of banter between the characters. Doc ends up meeting Shay's daughter. Her name is Danny, and she eventually hits it off with her. Danny's, I think, a teenager, like a teen, I think. Um, yeah, Shay's daughter, unlike the Malone brothers, she loves math, and so she's kind of the odd duckling of the group, but all the Malone brothers, you know, adore her, and so Talk, of course, Talk is obsessed with time. She's always needs to be on schedule and all of that, but she also seems to love math as well, and so she kind of bonds with Danny over math. Danny, kind of very mature for her age, keeps getting to fights with boys because they won't respect her boundaries. They keep wanting to play with her and stuff like that when she says no, and so she ends up beating them up a lot of the time. Um, and Shay's daughter also loves dogs, and so Shay's brother, what was his name? Can't remember his name, but he's a dog lover. He's a tiger shifter, but he loves dogs, and he's kind of made fun of by his brothers. But his brother's dogs, he has I think, three dogs. You know, they're all siblings. And then one of the dogs, Princess, she ends up getting pregnant because Shay didn't want to spay her because he thought it would be hypocritical because he didn't want to get her brothers neutered because he, as a sympathizing male, didn't want to cut off their balls. So that is the reason why she was not spayed and got pregnant, and his daughter was pissed at him. Um, so yeah, she's kind of once she kind of learns how irresponsible he is, I guess she takes control of the dogs and she forces him to take him to a vet, get them looked at and everything. So it turns out the vet informs us Princess is a cane corso, which Shay didn't know because his brother got the puppies from a shady dude in the parking lot who was trying to get rid of them because of police coming. So that didn't raise any red flags to them apparently. But turns out that the father of the puppies is a pit bull. So we got a cane corso pit bull mix. And again pisses off Shay's daughter because they're both big breeds, and you know it takes someone responsible taking care of these breeds because they can be dangerous if falling into the wrong hands. And so she kind of takes responsibility. She kind of takes responsibility to kind of find the homes for them. The vet suggests that they really give the puppies to more dominant shifters because Princess and her brothers um, they just do better with more dominant um, shifters instead of the more like docile shifter type. So yeah, and then we get a scene where there's this annoying little shit of a lion cub who tries to take one of the puppies from Danny after she refuses to give him one. Just give him one because he wants one. So Charlie ends up, or not Charlie, um, Hawk ends up showing up to scare the little shits away. But of course, this results in their prissy pride of females trying to start shit with Talk because the little shit said Talk had put her hands on him. So his mom is trying to start shit with Talk, and Talk's ready to throw down, but Charlie ends up intervening to stop the fight after the female shifts into a lion and throws herself at Talk. Charlie body checks her as she's attacking. So yeah, they end up that ends up stopping the fight and they all go home. Then someone ends up trying to take out Talk and her team. The Malone brothers as well and Charlie. They all get targets put on them, but they kill them all first. And so they now know that people are after them, and they're going to have to find out who. Talk and Danny grow closer, of course, and Shay and Talk finally admit their feelings to each other. So we eventually learn that the people doing all of the trafficking is an Italian Pride of Lions that has a lot of connections in Europe. So kind of why they've been able to get away with what they have. So the head of that pride, the De Medicis, whatever the name was, um, the head of the pride thought it was a very smart decision to confront Charlie McKilligan while she was doing dishes in the kitchen. and threaten her family, and he ends up with a steak knife in his chest. I just love Charlie just killing him without a second thought because he like what threatened her family and also just because he pissed her off. But yeah, he ends up sending Charlie on a warpath. And so she breaks into the house of the son of the man that she killed and leaves his body as a warning. Um, and essentially, it started a battle war. So that's the how the book ended on that we're going to war, which I was so excited for. They're actually coming out with the next one. Can't remember the book name of the book, but it's coming out this year, so that's nice. I didn't realize that until I actually looked it on Goodreads, but yeah. I saw a few reviews for the book complaining that the book not only or the book didn't really have a plot, but I enjoyed the book. The thing that really makes me enjoy this series is the world building. Um, because the author builds up this world over multiple books, and she does it very well, and you grow to care about these characters, as they're introduced over these books, and they're just so entertaining. I find her one of the few authors I find so funny. Probably because a lot of her humor comes from the interactions between the characters as opposed to more like jokes. And so I enjoyed all the characters, even Danny. The his Shay's daughter. I grew to like her as well, which is it can be hard, especially if you have a teenager. Um, but the ironic thing is that even when the kids are annoying in these books, it's because they're meant to be, and so it makes it funnier, I guess, because like the hyenas in the book or in this series, the hyena shifters are very much portrayed as more dangerous, I guess. So unlike other shifters, the hyena cubs are born with all their teeth and they're literally rabid from birth. And so one particular scene when I don't know if it was Deanne, I think it was Deanne. She's but somebody's like interrogating one of the hyena adults, and in the background you'll see Deanne, and she's kind of like being chased by hyena cubs, and then she ends up chasing them, and then it's just this whole thing. And yeah, the hyena cubs are little fuckers, and so but they're supposed to be. But kind of a tangent, but I love the characters in this book. They're so entertaining, and they're never predictable what this author does. And I think that's also why I love this series so much because I need the unpredictability. It's never boring for me, and so I never just get bored of the books and stuff. And they're interesting to reread as well. So, that's I know not everyone will like the books, but I enjoy them. We get more of the characters that I really love. We get more of Charlie, and of course Max. Get more of the relationship between all the characters. Get to know, like I said, Danny and Talk, because we know these characters from previous books, but we don't really know much about their lives, and so we get to know more about these characters, each character in each book, and so it really does make you care for them as as the books go along. One other thing, Streep, is one of the teammates. Apparently, she is at least queer because she has a girlfriend. Her name's Ash, and their scene was hysterical because Streep is like the diva of the group. She's so dramatic for no reason at all. Well, in this book, she gets injured. I would say seriously, but for badgers, it's not that serious. It's almost impossible to kill a badger in the series, so she's just being overly dramatic. And so when her girlfriend shows up. They literally act like, Ash acts like Streep is on her deathbed, and it's just so hysterically funny. And so that's part of the reason I love that as well. And because we get a queer character or queer couple. The author has kind of mentioned, I guess, small references to other characters that we don't get much about being um, queer, I guess. This is the first one where we have one of the main characters being queer and interacting with one of their, partners. And so I really enjoyed that. Don't know if the author will make a book about her, because she already is with Ash at in the book. So I don't know if she's gonna write another book focusing on them when they've already met and are together. So, but for, I guess, um a series, a straight romance series, it's more than any other romance series has given me. So yeah. So I think that was all of, from this book. I just really enjoyed the book, and I mean, I would still read it even if you um listen to this and know all the plot points. I'd still read it because it's just such a fun book to read. Read all of her books, to be honest, because they're all enjoyable. So, but yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, if you did like this book review, give it a like, subscribe to get notification for all the videos I'll be doing. You guys have a nice night. Stay safe. Stay safe out there. I'll talk to you later.